All right, we are recording. Hi, guys, back with another adventure on Zero to Hero. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Relim. I feel like you need like the like, you know, in like the boxing or MMA fights where like you have like the whole like intro and they're like, introducing Relim. That would be you right now. But all right, do you want to give yourself a little introduction, man?
Sure. Well, you've just said who I am. I'm obviously very British. I have this voice.
Very British.
I've got a bug, man flu. So lucky to be alive. But you know,
it was a close call
just for this moment. It always is. You get to an age and it's like, wow, man, every time hurts. I've been playing for a very long time. I think I started in 96, 97, on and off.
It was a good year.
And then for a few years, why is that a good year? Is that your birth year or something?
No, it's not. I just
just to make me feel really old.
I do need to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. I think I played seriously from 99 till about 2003. And then I dropped off the radar for years and years and years. And I came back about, probably about 12 years ago. And then I've just played on and off all that time.
Nice.
So I've seen lots of change, most of it good.
Yeah, because you're back in the time when, like, I mean, things were just wild. Like, I'll bet you remember. I don't remember this because this was before my time, but I've heard stories of, like, you know, orcs just teleporting in on you in Bree and like fireballing you and disappearing, and you're like, what happened?
I still remember the first time I ever logged in. So I was writing for a magazine and I was asked to look up what was happening with online gaming and this really weird thing called online talkers. So these people used to kind of, there was one called Foothills, I think, and people used to gather and talk. Just,
yeah.
I don't know. I just found it really bizarre, like, you know, socially.
The original podcast.
Era where, you know, well, you used to go to the pub, you know, and talk, and then suddenly people are online and they're just chatting away. And I found MUME, which I've been calling Mum all these years.
Oh, no.
Until I heard you people suddenly go, MUME. Okay, that sounds really weird. Who the hell calls anything MUME? And so I found it and I had to write about it. And I started playing. And it was back in the day when you had to get to level 5 to see your base stats. And this... and I just landed in Bree, and suddenly this huge group. I mean, you're talking 7, 8, 9 people just wandering around, following this guy who was on the quest, and I just followed him, and that was my introduction. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I had all the descriptions on. I was playing in Telnet, and it was so slow. By the time a fight, was over, I was just starting to hit the keyboard, which is not too different to how I play now, to be fair. And it was just nuts, and I couldn't really understand what's going on, and it was also very, very new. And I was working in publishing at the time, and writing as a journo, but also working in publishing. And so I remember writing this article saying this is really peculiar. This is all very new. There's no images, there's no graphics, it's just text scrolling by at a rate of knots. And then I got hooked. I remember that it took me years. I mean, I think the first year of playing, I got to level 8.
Yeah.
Just like, still no idea what was going on.
Man, it's a hardcore game. It still is.
Oh, man, it was crazy. I mean, we were writing for video game magazines and for football magazines, sports magazines, and so you're kind of going from writing about Nintendo games, and I think this was just before PlayStation, or maybe just after PlayStation. And so we're writing about this, the new world that was coming in 32 megabit and 64 megabit, and then, now I ask Claude to do something and I make tea. It's a very different world. Yeah, right.
Yep, I feel you.
It's such a strange thing to look back, but equally, it was obviously something that was resonating with people at the time, and the whole internet vibe was coming along. But I honestly, there was part of me that I saw a friend this morning. I was walking the dog and saw a friend, and she'd bought a newspaper, and I went up to her and I said, "What the hell is that?" And she said, "It's a newspaper." And I was like, back in '95.
On paper?
96, I swore to God I'd never stop buying magazines. I'd never stop buying newspapers. It was my trade, and the whole. It was very tangible, something that you used to hold and feel. And I haven't bought a newspaper in 20 years.
Yeah.
Because you just, why would you do that? That's yesterday's news. It's literally yesterday's news. The world could have blown up by
like having a
today, and you
typewriter.
won't know till tomorrow. Yeah, I remember those two. So yeah, it was. It was an interesting period to suddenly find these things. But even I was fairly late. I mean, the game was 4 or 5 years in by the time I found it. And it wouldn't be uncommon to be sitting in Brie, doing Lidl, and then looking back at the screen and being dead.
Yeah. Well, it sounds
just, all these things would just converge. You're like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. So, but it's interesting because the game was smaller, but there was obviously more people. And I think there's a lot of narrative today about how, the game is so big. You don't come and. Is that you? Are you beckoning?
Yeah,
me?
yeah. I'm out here beckoning you.
This is new. My keyboard's broken, by the way. My G key and my T key don't work.
Perfect.
So thank God you're not called something with G or.
My name's just Gutherden or something.
Yeah. I made this character just for you.
Oh, I feel so honored, and it's Relim. It's like Relim, basically.
Well, somebody came to me and said, "Are you Relim?" I said, "Is it that obvious?" Yeah.
It's in the name
for very good reason. Yeah, it's in the name. So, but it was fun because I don't know, I made this on Wednesday, and then I had to stop playing after 3 hours, and going all the way back to it took me a year to do level 9, and now it's very quick. But I was talking about the game. Yes, it's bigger, but I think the community is more engaged in many ways. People come and go, and we've all had our moments where we've come and gone. But look at this, you're doing things like this. You've got Discord, you've got ER, you've got a pretty tight-knit community that didn't really exist back then. It was different because you had lots of clusters of people. I'm British, so nobody ever accepts us, and I'm okay with that, right? So the Euros, Euros don't trust me because they think I'm American, and the US guys don't trust me because they think I'm Euro. I say, fine, okay. I just join in, and but you had clusters and all the labs. I mean, NSL back in the day was insane. A lot of fun if you were just watching from the outside, and even today, I think you still have clusters of people. There used to be a lot of like guilds and stuff back in the day, like houses and stuff, right? Yeah. So there was a guy. It's actually I can't remember who Urt used to play. Urt and Lena. So it's his brother, and it's called Korog, I think. And he started this. I think is he still who is him?
By the way, I got to ask, what is an ornamented saber? That is so cool.
That's the new thing from Greenway.
That is sick. I didn't know about that.
I just bought it. I mean, honestly, this character's already got stupid equipment.
Nice. Yeah, you're very well kitted.
I found the ring on the floor. I was walking towards Brie, and there's a rig there.
Dude, I
had that ring.
I just want to say, you have 100% just had like the Bilbo story. Like, not only when you're talking about this is the first thing I thought of when you're talking about your story of like just logging on to Brie and like you just followed someone and you got swept off in this giant group on this adventure, and you found a ring on the floor. Like, dude, the signs are there. The signs are there.
I guess it's serendipity. How about that? And anyway, so I think I was telling you. So I saw this sword for sale in Rivendell, and I thought, shit, I want that sword. And so I was rushing around getting all the herbs I could find, and just selling. And then some guy walked in and gave me 100 gold.
Oh, nice.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
I know who it was as well. Yeah,
the community is quite generous a lot of times, where they're very aggressively help you out. Oftentimes, if you run into
exactly. I think it's what makes the game the game. It's the only thing I play. I mean, I haven't played any apart from Red Dead Redemption, which obviously I want to be a cowboy. So
Yeah, of course.
as a cowboy, I wore a hat when I played it and all that. But other than that,
The graphics are about the same too, right?
very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. Music these days. Who's the guy that did the music? You had him on recently. The
Oh,
Aussie guy.
Bladderfat. The Aussie.
Glad you said that, not me.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, the fact that people are doing all this stuff, you know, I think that we give, well, no, I think we see criticism or critique of people making this game and being involved in this game. You're like, man, they've given up hours and days and weeks and months.
Yeah.
What the fuck is there to critique? I mean, what are we criticizing? The fact they didn't do exactly what you wanted to do?
I think
Go do it yourself.
Actually, on that point, the one of the like most unsung heroes of MUME has to be Dane, right? Like you never see Dane, like ever. No one ever talks to Dane. I've talked to Dane like twice, and but he is constantly working and tinkering. Like if there's like a crash, like Dane's the one that fixes it. Jahara's in there as well, but Dane oftentimes is the holder of some of the keys that need to be taken care of, and he's the one that's helping implement all those GMCP standards, and like he's doing so much stuff behind the scenes, and no one ever talks to him. Like that is incredible,
No. There's a few, isn't there? There's people who have built all these areas, and we get to play them. I remember saying to, I think it's Rogan, who I've had 2 or 3 normal conversations with, and a good 1,000 that are abnormal. Love him. Not sure
he is such a character.
He is a character. He's a good guy.
A great guy.
And in the end, it's quite obvious. I don't have the time nor the ability, the capability to really help in terms of building the game. I've got a god, but it's just there, And I remember saying, actually, I'm much better off down on the ground anyway. And most of my characters are rangers, and I'll happily go and help anybody learn the game. The one benefit of having 1,000 kids is you learn patience. So if somebody can't even, it's their first time they've been in here, you're like, you just got to stick around and help and, use the
and make it fun and make it fun, right? Like
make it fun.
Sometimes just having someone who just says something in character to them, like it's a dangerous road, like it kind of makes their day.
Yeah, without swearing, I must have learned that one. But yeah, and sometimes you're just like literally saying, okay, type SAY, then a message. And I've had that, and you're like, it sounds crazy, but at the same time, these people aren't used to maybe engaging in this way. And so I kind of find that I'm better off just being down here and, helping down below because I can't help at top type thing. And a little bit of, I don't know, I've never seen it apart from, I remember when they introduced Run. And you're typing away, and then suddenly the whole screen goes mad, and you're running, and all your moves run out. And you're like, "What the fuck was that?" And it lasted for about 5 minutes, and literally they launched it, and then they killed it.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Oh, there was when I first actually started playing more seriously, and with Relim as my first real character. I was playing a scout, a thief. Honestly, I've tried in the last few years, and 1, I don't really enjoy it, and 2, I'm not very good at it, so you stop playing. But I remember he warded really, really quickly, because back in the day, if you were wielding a bow, you didn't have any malice on your shield. And I can't find a news story that changed this, but there was they changed it entirely because it was completely overpowered. Every bow, forget crossbow, this was any bow. You just go into battle with a troll, and then the troll would die, and you'd lose 3 hit points. It was nuts. And so there's lots of changes over the years like that one that mean you have to change the way you play, or you have to adapt. But I think that's what I'll cure you in a minute, by the way, because the worst thing that could happen is I join you and you die.
No, it's all part of the adventure. All part of the adventure.
Not on my watch, pal. Not on my watch. I don't cure very well, but no.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, almost hitting level 9 here. So we are cruising right along. I did want to kind of circle back to one of the things you were talking about there, which is that I think a lot of times, and just for context, right now we're just XPing around kind of south of the Tower Hills and just killing wolves and stuff. But going back to your point about kind of being boots on the ground, I think a lot of times it can get kind of lost in the sauce that like you don't need to have a god character and be developing Muddle to impact the development of the game, right? Like the players not only have a lot of power, but they matter quite a bit. Case in point, right? A lot of what the production cycle of the game looks like, right? It's like someone actually has to do the coding and whatnot, right? But like they have an organization system for the gods so that they can have a hierarchy and have some organized structure to actually like implement code, right? But like when people have ideas, there was a discussion in the Discord a while ago, right? When people have ideas, oftentimes we just kind of like throw them out into the ether, and then like they just like, you know, there's a million of them coming at the god characters, and they're trying to sift through like what do people actually want. And there was a discussion, like I said, on the Discord not too long ago, right? And we had a couple, like Jahar was in there, and like he was really level. We dinged, nice. That was quick.
Wow. Look at that.
But like there's a million people talking, right, including me, and we're all like, oh, we should do this, and you know the conversation drifts and new ideas are thrown in, and you have these guys, the developers, who are trying to help and get a consensus of what people want, and you know, maybe execute some of those ideas, right? But like we're kind of the problem, you know, like if we just kind of banded together and had you know, a vote or some system where it could be like, hey, listen, at least 10 people agree that this thing should be looked at, and then we give that to the gods, all of a sudden now you've got this kind of like real tangible ask from the community, which the gods can then look at and be like, oh, you know what? Okay, well, either we are going to do this or we're not going to do it, but we'll probably give feedback on it, as opposed to like, you know, it all being lost in the ether. And like that's something that this might be a little too hard for us, but that's something like the community can do. And frankly, we're at fault for not doing. Let's do this boar here. This might get a little hairy in here. But again, yeah, to your point, like ranger characters, like you don't need any god permission to go and be nice to newbies. You don't need anybody's permission to, you know, take someone on a fun adventure, or just, you know, do any of these out of game thing, like set up a Discord server, or, you know, Elven Runes is Axel, right? And I'm sure he has a god character somewhere, right? But that's just a community guy doing community things. Anyway, that I think that's something that's kind of been lost recently. Is everyone just looks at the gods as like the people who need to do everything. Here, you tank this. They need to do everything. When like,
sure,
we can be doing most of the stuff.
I agree. I did talk to Jahara a while ago. This idea, you want to get out of here.
I got this. We got this. We got this.
Sure? Okay.
We got this.
If you die, it's not on me. I mean, Jesus,
we got this.
I'll just go back to Rivendell and sit there and wait for people to give me money. And
wait for the next Leodin.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy was a terrible leader. What an idiot.
I also leveled by mistake. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, perfect. Perfect. Let's actually go down here. Let's grab this stone. Do you have any cures by any chance?
Yeah, sure. Maybe. Honestly. I talked to him a while ago about this idea of some sort of player council. But I just wonder if all you do is you move the problem from one place where it's already been discussed, hugely, to another place where you're going to continue to discuss it hugely. And everybody's got this, not everybody, people tend to have this very critical idea. And this is my idea, therefore it's the best idea, therefore we should do this idea. But it can't be done in silo. It can't be done away from everything else that's going on. And I think that, you know, there's been discussion before about the idea. Let me take some of this. That you know, that people aren't particularly forthcoming, perhaps, in what is being developed. But man, you know, I'm in businesses, and we have product roadmaps, and people are paid. And that's expected. You know, you need that visibility. I think in a game like this demand, this desire for this mass level of visibility, great if you could have it, but I don't think we're in a position to demand it. And secondly, having some sort of player council on top of the, I mean, I look at the discussion boards as a god, and you're like, Jesus, there's so much they're discussing. But equally, there's so much they need to develop in a certain order. And I think without that knowledge, I do wonder if having a mass amount of new ideas being thrown around is simply going to be, it's going to almost create that same issue, which is, this is the best idea we've ever had. You should be doing this. You're terrible people for not doing this. I don't want to play anymore, which is bullshit because they all come back anyway. Like, we've all rage quitted at one point. I think I've lost the keyboard once.
Throw the whole computer out.
Yeah, it happens, man. I think I might have done it recently as well in the last few years. When you get too connected, it's very emotive, this game, because it's challenging and because of people. Right? It's what makes it a great game, but equally it's it brings us challenges. So back to the point, you know, whether there's some sort of, you know, player-led council. I think also we need to be slightly careful because this becomes this exclusivity of the older players as well. They know best.
There's a difference between creating a council where it's like, hey, like members of the community have more status or more pull. Like that's not a good. I agree. I don't think that's a good call. But that's different than being organized, right? You can have an organized structure to or customs to how we kind of do things versus just, you know, chaos. So case in point, right? You could have a system where, okay, you know, every week there are going to be ideas posted that you can vote on in the idea board or whatever, right, on Discord, and whichever one gets the most votes, the gods are going to look at and respond to once a week, something like that, right? So it's not like the power's not in anyone's hands. All it does is it gives the gods a place to focus their attention, which is community directed, right? And maybe they do it and maybe they don't, right? They can say that, hey, this is a bad idea or whatever, right? But like, there could be some kind of social contract. All right, well, yeah, you can post your ideas, and whatever idea has the most votes that was posted this week, at the end of the week on Saturday, someone will respond to and be like, that was a good idea, or we'll do it, you know, or we'll think about it, right? And just having that, again, is very different than, and I mean, the Discord context drift that we always see, you know, where I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm running around here. Do you want to
run out of moves
real quick? Actually,
I'm watching you run out of moves.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Sure.
I love that. Let's go. We'll go east a little bit, and then here you'll take over. Let's actually let's get regain moves, and then yeah, you'll take over real quick. But like that's different than having a player council, but it does give some structure to like, yeah, okay, people do want this, right? Because we did do something similar to that at one point, right? We changed rent, right? There was a big hullabaloo about rent costs, right? And everybody was really on board, and it wasn't very organized, but everybody was on the same page. And what happened? They changed it, right?
Listen, I'm not against conceptually. The thing is, I don't know. I don't know necessarily what or how that would drive response. I mean, how long have we been building Rohan? 22 years later.
Yeah, it's 22. Yeah,
it's a long time later. And I get why we're not launching it. You covered it really well the other day. I understand that, and you know, it's one of those almost mythical areas now of the game.
They released Mordor before Rohan.
And all good, right? So, but the thing is, to some people that could be critical. To others, it could be just another bunch of 10 by 10 rooms, which is going to lead to no PK, which is the most important thing to them. I think that the game, it needs to continue to bring a lot of balance. You know, if you're completely new and you walked into this game and you saw these room descriptions, you would be in awe
Yeah.
of what you're reading. Is the book has come to life. The films are now text upon your screen, and it's scrolling by at a million miles an hour, but it's still there, and it is quite an incredible achievement. And I don't think we want to lose that, even though I don't necessarily engage with that very much. I kind of understand that some people do, and some people don't. PK is so critical to this game as well. It's but the balance is really important. If you type achievement, what do you see? I mean, you won't see much right now in this character, right? But you see a bunch of things. We've gamified the idea of game in terms of looking to achieve the quests and looking to achieve. I mean, you get some crazy things. I don't know if you've ever done this. I think I still do this. In fact, I did it today by mistake. I had to run from Rivendell to Grey Havens, and it told me after 11 minutes it was a really fast trip. I think on a character I've done it in less than 3 minutes. If it's not less than 3, it's around that number. And you kind of gamifying yourself. You're kind of chasing from Grey Havens to Rivendell and back again, and then from Fornos to the Bad to see how fast you can do it. There's all these little clever or interesting areas of the game that we sometimes overlook because we're looking to kill Peter or somebody.
Yeah.
Normally they're looking to kill me, and normally I died on one of my favorite characters the other day.
Normally it works.
Just because I got caught. I was running towards Bree, and I wasn't taking any real notice. And then suddenly I saw 2 trolls, and then I saw an orc, and then I went, fuck, shit. And then I pre-spammed to the gate, and of course they're all waiting there. So I just get bounced around, and then I die. And it just happened so quick, and it's frustrating. But to be honest, I'm getting to the point where you go, give me my stuff back. Let's crack on.
Yeah.
And I used to get really irked. But you can't. I mean, it's just damn equipment, right? Anyway, I'm talking, not playing. Where do you want to go? Should we go into the trees? Are we too young? Are we too small?
Let's see here. I would say probably let's skip the trees, just because I don't think our weapons are very good versus them. And if we get caught in the roots, life will be pretty sad.
Speak for yourself. I got a saber. I got
That's
a
true.
longbow.
You do.
I got arrows, man. But I don't want to do that. Okay, fine. I won't kill you today. Let's
not today.
Go.
Tomorrow.
Sure. I'll come find you. Let us go. Bears. Okay.
Yeah, some bears would be excellent, right? And because we're right about that level now, so you're level 11 and I'm level 9. So this is right about where you're probably going to start, depending on your skill level, start branching out from, instead of just XPing kind of west of Bree, you could really start going east of Bree, right? You can start going south. You can, if you really wanted to, you could go all the way to Fangorn, although I probably wouldn't do that quite yet. But right about this level is kind of when you should start, really starting to explore the map. And it's going to get more dangerous, right? Things are going to be hitting harder. You're going to run into evil beings more often. But, this is kind of when you have to start taking chances if you want to keep progressing in the game. So,
I mean, again, you take while you're doing these videos, it's to kind of show people how you would go through a bunch of levels from what do you say, from 0 to hero. It's like a bad race.
Yeah.
This bear doesn't like me.
It's wrecking us.
It's fine. Just see if you can bash.
Yeah, we got this.
And I think that it's really critical that we, as a community, look at this not just as what do we individually want for PK to be better or for more areas to explore, but actually how do we keep it interesting and alive, not just for us, but for others to come and see and come and join. You could watch these videos and start to get a sense of how it is to play. Although I take it you haven't got rune descriptions on.
I don't, just because it's a little spammy for me. I do know that most newbies do play with them on.
Yeah.
I kind of I wish that there was a better way. Actually, so this is one thing I'll do. Maybe I'll do this right now. Change spam desk on, but change spam. No, change color room desk gray. I like having that. No, change color room desk gray. There we go. What am I missing here? Change color room desk. Sorry, I'm letting you die here. Change color
It's fine. It's normally a group of people that did the same. It's normal. Are you struggling with commands? There's a help thing. If you try help.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the right color was. Let's see here.
I'm gonna let you take this one now.
Hold on a second. I think it's help 256 color. 256 color. Let's do just some grays down here. Gray 46 and gray 46. So change color, room, gray, and 46. The attribute can be modified, foreground, background, where all fields are optional. This usually works. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Change color. Change color on desk.
So by the time we get back, we'll have done another level. It's fine.
Desk and gray. Just watching Slay over here just totally fail. There we go. Now it worked for some reason. I guess I typed something differently. All right. Yeah. This is sometimes how I play. Ooh, I am hungry. I'm going to eat some of my pork here. But if I do play with descriptions on, because the descriptions are beautiful, but they definitely add quite a bit of spam to the screen.
They do.
So I like having some sort of indicator that, like, okay, this is the text that is relevant to what's happening in the game, and then this is like the descriptive text. But there we go. Now it's working. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying? I got sucked into a rabbit hole there.
Well, it kind of goes back to the point of the community driving forward ideas, and it can't just be the loudest people. For that to work, it would genuinely have to be quite an open, engaged vote. You had a new guy on a couple of videos ago, right? Completely new. He'd been playing for not very long, and his opinion here should be as valuable as perhaps mine or yours, just because we've been playing a while. Because we're all going to have a bias. I mean, the vast majority of bias goes towards PK, and that's completely understandable, because that's what people want. They want to engage with that. But the quiet or silent minority and potentially silent majority who are not engaging with us, on Discord, or they're not engaging anything other than they're just playing a goddamn game. I mean, if we look at, there's 17 people on our side right now, right? There's 27 recently active and 151 players with 4 points. And we know from you look at the statistics on the new players, and how many do we keep? We keep fractional amounts.
Keep what?
We get a lot of people coming through. A fractional amount of new players.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
we know
it's a tiny amount.
But it's constant, the number we're getting, in terms of there's regularly, every week, every month, there's dozens of new people trying this game. And
it's actually a shocking amount. There's I think it's, I'd have to check my numbers on this, but I think there's over 100 people per month who try it, right? There's not at all the number of people, and that doesn't even mean they even get past Gandalf, right? But like a large number of people do check it out.
Yeah, they do, and I think there's this kind of, and I'm part of this. Many years ago, this is a brutal game.
Yeah,
that's one of the attractions. It's a brutal game. There's character types where you like a troll. If you die, that's sorry. If you get sunned, that's it. You lose everything. But if you're new, and there was a guy that was on Discord not so long ago, and he went to Rivendell. He was new. He came for another game actually.
Oh.
And he died. He went to Rivendell. He went outside of Rivendell. He died, and he was like, shit. So he went to get his equipment back. And he died again.
Yeah.
and then he went outside one more time, and then he gave up because he died again. And on one hand, we've all been there, and that's part of your learning curve. That's what makes the game so great. But is it really what makes the game so? It made the game great to us, but it's sometimes I think we can end up being the type of. We can have an approach which is this was tough for me, kid. So you're going to just have to tough it out too.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you know. And I think when you have so much choice, the internet over the last 25 years, 30 years, has brought so much choice of what people can do on their computer screens. If you're married, you're dragged outside and you have to do other things off your computer screen. So either do that or don't get married. There's my advice. Don't get married. Just stay at the screen. Stay at the screen. And I think everything has to evolve and everything has to develop. And I think that it kind of goes back to the point I was making earlier, that there's so much respect for the people, whether it's Dane or Jahara or Rogan or everybody else that's been involved, that have developed this game and kept it alive for so very long. But is it really right that we now sit here and say, tough shit, this game is hard, if you don't like it, go away? And it doesn't seem exactly overly encouraging or embracing the idea that actually we don't, but people, it is a steep learning curve. We don't necessarily want to take that away, I guess. Although there's part of me that says you kind of need to. You kind of need to take away some of this steep learning curve because it isn't working.
Well, I think
people aren't sticking.
I think an important thing to distinguish here is there's a difference between difficulty, like a hard game, and a curve, a really steep curve, right? So example with your newbie who died outside of Revendell and then re-died several times, right? Again, we've all been there, right? But the problem with that scenario, right, is not so much that he died. Like, he was fine when he died, right? The first time he kept playing, right? The problem is that what he was supposed to do there was don't go back to your corpse. And
sure.
But everyone knows, like, oh, you die, you're supposed to go back to your corpse, right? And then that leads to this really unfortunate loop of then more deaths and, like, yeah, I'm rage quitting, right? So in that specific example, right, like a simple change, like you could even say, like, making the game quote unquote harder, in that, like, you can't loot your corpse. Like, you die and then, like, you should basically just start fresh, right? By making it almost more punishing, he would then probably have kept playing, right? Because he wouldn't have gotten into this miserable loop. And again, we've all been there, which is like, dying sucks, but re-dying sucks a lot, you know? And why do you re-die? It's because you're going and checking your corpse, right? Anyway, not to harp on that scenario too often, right? But, like, the problem is not necessarily that it's punishing because you die and blah, blah, blah. But, like, you could literally make the game more challenging, but because you fixed the loop, I think you'd still solve a lot of that unpleasantness, right? So maybe I don't know, just something to think about.
I saw you wrote something on that, actually, and I don't necessarily disagree. I think the idea here is we need to explore different ways of doing it.
Agreed.
That's the way it is, therefore.
Agreed.
And you know, that particular example, you know, the guy may be looking for something that we're never going to be. I think he mentioned that he was big into role-playing. And, I mean, you know, the vast majority of, we haven't seen much today, but the vast majority of the rates are people cursing out the other side. Rightly so. Whatever side you're on, you hate the other guys.
Yeah.
That's why I like playing Zork sometimes.
Yeah.
Everybody hates you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the April Fools stuff was amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to play. I haven't played that much recently, but I saw Donnie posted about it, and I thought, no, I'm doing that. I think I died 3 times, but it was fun because and the map was insane because suddenly you're seeing everything. And I'd never really thought about that. The fact you can see the other side is like, wow.
Yeah.
That was good fun. But I think we just have to give it some thought, and maybe this goes back to your community point. I was saying the story, actually. I'll finish that story. Korog, back in the day, used to have effectively a shop or a guild. That's a shop. And he'd go and get everything and then receipt it, because you could have everything on receipts back then. So people would hoard things like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And he had this, you know, hundreds of receipts. But it wasn't popular with certain people. So in the end, he was same-sided to get the receipts. And the receipts were scattered to the winds. And of course, soon afterwards, actually, they stopped receipts at all, and you couldn't just hold things in receipts. player power, but possibly not the most pleasant player power. And the thing is, people have tried to do things over the years. Yeah, there was Gray. I mean, Jesus Christ, we gave that guy out. Fuck me.
He's a legend.
I don't remember joining in, but that doesn't mean I didn't, because you always get caught up in the internet nonsense. You know, the way that people will gang up on somebody, and he obviously did a lot in his own time. He made his website and all of that data.
Yeah, for all the crap that he gets, he was really before my time. I think we maybe crossed paths like once or something in game, but a lot of his guides and stuff were crucial to my early days of playing the game.
I mean, yeah, I look back on some of that and I just think, man, a bunch of scumbags people can be, including me. I don't know. As I say, I can't remember. But the I don't know where I'm going. By the way, we could go and do anything.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go east, and we'll. You know what? Who knows? Maybe we'll run into an orc. We'll go.
Let's hope so. I feel
kill some brigands or something.
Oh, hang on. I'm not see this. There's no point in having a quip if you don't use it, right? I didn't even use a goddamn ring. I forgot. See, I got excited then. Thinking,
ooh, we've got company, but friendly company.
Well, we can reverse that friendliness just by pressing the wrong button.
There you go. True. We were talking about same siding. Same siding, for those who don't know, is highly frowned upon and kind of a dickish move. On the specifically on the light side, you can do it on the dark side, but it's not really great either. But same siding basically just means you kill a player character that is on your side of the war. Like, role playing is not super highly enforced, but that is considered very, very poor form. So
yeah, it
rarely happens.
Interestingly, so does Sauron's list still exist?
I know you can ask Sauron if people are on the list, so I guess it does. I know Elbereth's list doesn't exist anymore.
That was. What am I doing? I don't want to use that spell. I trained up Cure Crit.
Oh, nice! Wow.
It's 141 mana.
Oh, nice.
I will never be able to cast it, so I'm training it off, and I just mistyped. Yeah, I have no mana. But yeah, I think when it boils down to it, it's if we can find ways to engage and make it more engaging for people that find us and join us, which I know, and again, it's not actually some criticism. What they've done with the Gandalf thing is amazing. It's a lot of fun. I skipped it for this character because I think once you've seen it once or twice, Jahara recommended that all the range of people that were in the Discord channel go and do it to understand it, which I think was a very good point. So I did it a couple of times, and that in theory should work, but of course we know it is not having the effect we'd like. Do we just accept that that's the way it is, and this game is really hard and really tough, and it's hard, you're going to get a handful of new people playing, or do we continue to seek a way to let's go down here and kill a warg?
Our first real evil thing.
These are huge in XP as well.
Great for
even
XP.
On one of my older characters, about 10 years ago, I found out they were like, geez, I've never killed many of these. And you're like getting 4 or 5k every time. It's like, man,
it's a lot.
I've got a new level.
It's a lot.
So yeah, I don't have the answers. Jesus, I'd love to think that I had anything like a good idea, but it's more that we need to keep seeking that, and perhaps some of us older players need to kind of drop this idea that, hey, it's tough, therefore it was tough for us, tough shit kid is going to be tough for you. I don't think that's the right approach. I think we've got to keep finding ways to bring people into the game, to keep it alive. To be fair, was it Taryn that used to do this? I love him. His name's Mike, right? Everybody to me in MUME was
shout out Mike.
One stage was called Mike. Everybody's called Mike. Now I found out they weren't all called Mike. But anyway, so he did this data on one of your podcasts, looking at the trend of players over time. And my guess is we're no longer at the bottom end of that, but we're not exactly at the top end of 1999 either. And I don't know that we'll ever get back there, but I think, let's try this. this might go horribly wrong.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm actually kind of. I think that we have a very unique moment right now. Where I'm not saying that's going to get back to 1999 or it's even going to change very much, but like there is a unique opportunity right now because. One of the things that has always been, you know, the standout feature of MUME is MUD, right? And it's all text based, and that for the longest time has been very much like, oh, that's kind of strange, right? But right now there's this phenomenon that is flying across the world, known as AI, which is all the rage. And in case you live under a rock, but no, but. People are spending more time than ever. Like our average everyday person are spending a lot of time now getting very used to just typing into a chatbot, which is going to just give you text back for the most part, right? And it's actually kind of a similar experience to MUME. Like MUME is, you know, and MUD is like a very almost, you know, distant relative in that sense. So I think we actually are in this kind of unique scenario where you probably could get a couple of extra players just because like this style interface now is, I think, it's a lot more familiar to people than it would have been, let's say, like a couple years ago.
You know what? I don't think that's not a bad shout at all. It could well be true. I think the other thing is that I've got a few businesses that we're big into the AI stuff, and I've said to people who look at me like I'm slightly mad, which is my normal day. I'm fine with it.
Naturally.
Oh shit! I haven't got any water. I got some beer.
I've got one. Oh, you got beer? Because I've got a bottle.
I bought this for you actually. Let me give it to you.
Oh.
I bought this from. You ran out of food the other day, right?
Yes.
I bought you the sack from Rivendell. You know, the cook gives you the sack.
Oh yes, wonderful.
There you go. Look at that. But I'll keep the beer.
Here, that is actually full of water, actually. So you can. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Well, I've got beer. That's fine.
Nice.
Hey, somebody give me lockpicks. Is that you?
Nope, that wasn't me.
I got lockpicks.
Well,
sometimes I just sit around and people give me shit. I mean, it's like being at home, but without the bad side. You know, I get shit at home, that's fine. But get shit on mum, it's normally good shit. So anyway. I think you're right, and I was saying to somebody recently that they looked at me like I was mad, and I genuinely believe this, that the internet will be a footnote in the history of AI. So for people of my age, around 40 to 50 something, top end, the internet is still probably the greatest revolution. But before my time, it's a microchip. You know, my father-in-law used to talk about the first time he came across a pocket calculator. It's like, Jesus, you know, what do you use, a fucking abacus before then? I didn't really see why that was such a big deal, but it was a very big deal. The internet was a very big deal. AI, man, I mean, we are at the infancy of something that is mind-blowing. I see this criticism occasionally. You know, AI doesn't do this, and you know, I put this into ChatGPT and it's giving me the shit answer. It's like, okay, you're seeing the start. We're nowhere near where this is going to go. People are using Claude. Now, Bok on Discord uses Claude, and actually inspired me to look further into it because I couldn't quite. Sorry, am I boring you?
No. Keep going. While you're talking.
Sorry, I bore myself when I talk. It's fine.
No.
I'm so used to it. Yeah, the sound of my goddamn voice. But anyway, when you see what Claude can now do and the speed at which it does things, and it changes. It's changed so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I think, therefore, you're right. And you could go one step further and say, actually, how can you incorporate that into a game like this? Now, today, it will cost
we don't want to go there.
Money we don't have in terms of, you know, AI credits and things. I mean, Jesus, I sneeze and $100 later, AI credits come out. It's mad. But
well, actually, so
over time, that's going to change.
To your point, so I've done a fair bit of experimenting. The client that I built recently and I'm still working on is largely done with AI. But I've also experimented with putting AI into MUME. So we have like a prototype right now of a character that you can plug an AI into, and it'll talk to you, and it knows a bunch of MUME stuff. And there's a couple problems, right? So the first problem, because I agree, I think in an ideal world we'd love to incorporate it in, right? But the first problem, right, is just from a practical standpoint of how do you have the AI like where's it hosted, right? Like who's running it? Now you can have like a server-based AI, like a Gemini or something, which works great, but then you have to pay for it. And even if it's a small amount, like again, it's a totally free-to-play game. We really can't afford to do that, even if it's just pennies, right? Unless we do some sort of crowdsourcing type thing. I'm out of. There we go. Option 2, and I've experimented with this as well, and it works okay. Is you can have an AI that's hosted on your own computer, right? So there's plenty of local models. And they don't work as well, but they're getting to the point where they work well enough, right? And then you could have them be your brain for your whatever feature it is that you're implementing, right? You could put something like that on the MUME server, but I don't think that's probably going to happen simply because it does take up a fair bit of RAM, and like you need a pretty decent system in order to run it. I don't know how the specifics of how the MUME is hosted. Here, do you want to buff this room actually real quick, and then
sure.
I will. So one idea I have on that front is what you could do is you could basically have folks who have, who are somewhat, quote unquote, donating their own hardware, in that if they are connected to the game, then they can make an AI feature work, and if they are not connected to the game, then the AI feature becomes the feature becomes a dumb feature, right? So basically, it's like sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, which would be very like decentralized and distributed and kind of janky. But that's what community projects are like. But that's the first hurdle. The second hurdle is then again, what feature do you actually want with AI, right? So again, I did this test character, and maybe one of these days I'll show it to folks. But yeah, you can talk to it, and it's got the MUME. I scraped the MUME database for all the help files and everything, and it knows a lot of stuff. It's hilarious if you ask it like about Rogan or something. My favorite response is it'll be like, he is the Arata of building or whatever, and he'll be like, known for being a grumpy man or something. And it's just like, I don't know how he knew how it knew that, but spot on. So as Rogan would agree,
we love him anyway.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic. Favorite word is no. Favorite word is no. Self-described favorite word is no. No, actually. Side tangent. I think Rogan has taught me a lot in that very specific sense of one of the most important things you can do in a project is say no to a bunch of things. And in the moment, you're like, "What are you? That's absurd! Like, no, it's such a good idea." But like, he's right. He's right. No is the right call. But anyway, so I've put it into a character, right? But like, what feature would you actually want in the game? Like, do you want smart NPCs? Do you want like you could have a like the storyteller summarize logs that have been posted from Elva runes. Like you could have maybe like more dynamic quests or something. But like I don't think I don't know what the killer feature would be. I guess
I think the point you make, well, one, there's 3 good ideas, right? And there are many more.
Take this one.
I let better people than me come up with these good ideas. I think what you do is you create it's back to that point of why people would join us and why people would stay. And if and why PK is so popular. PK, when you think about it, is relatively a new experience every time. Even if you know damn well what you're doing and you've got the trap set out. If you're with Naz, I've redshirted that guy so many times.
Yeah.
Literally, do you want to play, Max? Sure. I want to die today.
Nice.
That's the weirdest, craziest way where you can get me killed. Okay, thank you. I really enjoyed that. Another experience. And that's fine. And you kind of like go with... sorry, I'm not saying much.
Yeah, you're good.
You kind of go with that. And so PK gives this idea of a fairly unique experience every time you do it. Or at least it may be familiar, but it's new. And I think that if you could have one critique about the game is that the quest is a quest, it's a quest. You've done it once, you've done it again.
Yeah.
The hardest quest, I guess in theory, is Traveller Quest, because if you do it quite low level, relatively low level, then you're going into areas that may be a little bit more dangerous. But I don't think it's overly challenging to a experienced player. Did you enjoy running through the woods there? Is the shiver?
I did. No, I just want to actually give a quick shout out to Bladderford. The music's changed because we're kind of in more dangerous territories right now. We're closing in on Rivendell. Really cool. Like this is sick. I feel like so much more like intense with this music. Anyway, keep going. Shout out. That was awesome.
I haven't downloaded it yet. I keep being told to download it. I must do that because I love the idea. I love what the guy did. I love all those things. I think that when people put so much effort into something that is either part of the game or linked to the game in this way, because that's almost like the ecosystem of the game as opposed to perhaps developing inside of the game. But I think, go back to the AI thing, it's not so much that it's a necessity, but if you it's back to that evolution. By evolving the game constantly, what can we do? And maybe what AI does today or the way it's structured is not the answer, and that's fine. But explore it, and by doing what you're doing, we can explore it and see what might work. I think you've got the age-old challenge of MUME, which is IP is always going to be a little bit. Nobody makes any money. It's all for fun and entertainment. They'll probably sell more books because of us. We'll try that one if we ever find ourselves in trouble. But hey, everybody bought a book. Everybody watched the film, so you made money. I'm not sure it will stand up too well. So there's always you got that challenge, and then secondly, you've got the, Fire raised money back in 90 dot. I can't remember when. I remember it happening. I remember loads of people gave money to get something, to get a server sorted, and it was great. And people came together to help that happen. Made that happen. But I think as soon as you get into, there are so many different strands here. So who's responsible for the AI? Who's going to pay for the AI? Who's going to approve the AI? What are we going to do when it goes off at a tangent and hallucinates that you're something else? And and then the terrible thing is what happens when AI kills us all, starting with MUME.
Naturally, of course.
Into, something more terrifying. So, but it goes back to the point of exploration. So to keep the game going, we've got to make it engaging. To make it engaging, we've got to explore all the different things that can happen. So I think whatever it is you're doing, then keep doing it, because it's finding out. We don't have to know the answer. We have to understand the question. And the question is, what's going to make the game more engaging? What's going to keep people returning? And if it's that it's a more unique experience every time you play because of AI, or it's a more a deeper experience, or something that people find entertaining. If you're new, how many rooms do we have? Thousands, tens of thousands of rooms.
I think it's actually,
sure I've been in it.
It's 20-something thousand, I believe.
Right. So yeah, I'm pretty damn sure I haven't been in every one of them. In fact, my guess is I've only touched 80% over the years. So if that was my want that I want to explore, great. I love the Explorer and Conqueror stuff, by the way. I think it's, again, gamifies some of the numb PK stuff is a nice idea. And the Conqueror thing naturally also encourages PK, because most of those things you go in and you try and flip, then somebody's not so far behind you looking for you trying to flip them, and here we go. I think I've died more times doing that recently than any other thing, but that's fine. So we've got to... my wish for the game is that we continue to explore how to develop it, not just as a development of people, but of the concept of the idea, how we push it, how we use tools like AI. You made the point, right? People are looking at I'm looking at a black screen with a map on the left-hand side. I use Atlantis on a Mac. I'm probably the worst Mud client in the world. It's slow, it's cumbersome, but that's okay. It's mine. So I'm used to it, and I use that. But to your point, that people are now engaging again with less visual aspects. And with that in mind, would that lure them in? Would that be something that we can latch onto? I don't know. I do know that the same people are used to how the chat AI works today. So Claude or GPT or to a lesser degree Gemini. I haven't used that one as much. I'm using things like 11 Labs for voiceover, which is just insane. When these things breathe at you as they're doing voiceover, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, you're breathing. It's drawing in breath. It's like, oh man, that's scary. But it just shows, that, again, how things are developing so quickly. So yeah, listen, I think it's part of that same conversation, which is how do we develop the game? So how do we develop around the game, the ecosystem around the game? So things like Mapper, the music that goes into Mapper, the cool stuff that people are doing, the graphics. These are all the ecosystem of the game. And then you've got and even Discord and Elven Runes, all those things. How do we keep that appealing? How do we draw people in? How do we engage with them when they're there? And then you've got the game itself. How do you make that more accessible? How do you and continue though to make it challenging? Continue to make it that game that people love so much. Is it a Tolkien thing? Is it a community thing? Is it a depth of the world thing? What do we introduce next? And I think we've got to keep asking the questions because there isn't a single way of saying, hey, and it must be this. The only time I get a little bit like, ugh, is when I see people saying, well, it's back to that point. It was really hard for me, so it should be hard for you, and that's part of its charm. That may be true of the past, and it may be true of the players that continue to play, but it sure as shit isn't true of the people trying it because they aren't staying. So maybe we should just take a step back and say, what else can we do without nullifying the challenge of the game? How do we make it accessible? And if it's AI and if it's having a more unique experience because AI can help drive that, then great. But it's not that, and there's your single answer. There's multiple answers. I think, your point about having people vote on improvement, I think that's an open discussion. I think that's a fine idea. It is very hard sitting where I'm sitting as a player to say, and this is the finite answer to all of our challenges, because at the same side you flip it around and you say we've got a 30-year-old game, older than that, 33, 34 years old. It has a birthday every year, so I really should know. I think I got it wrong this year. It's 31.
I don't know.
Now it's like, no, it's 33. Really? Oh shit, it's 33. Is it really 2026? What the fuck?
I know. It's insane.
Man,
it's already April.
Wow, listen, you're getting old when you start talking about it's already April of 2026. In a minute, you'll be telling me what the weather's like. The weather is... It's nice today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got this radio game, which is still being played, still extraordinarily popular, still an extraordinary game, an extraordinary experience. Even that was fun. I think I said to you, when did you ask me on Tuesday or Wednesday? Do you want to do this? And I said, sure. And I thought, actually, I haven't got anything. I haven't got a character that I can play. So I actually leveled up for the first time in probably a year of making a new character. And it was fun.
Right.
And finding that sword and finding that ring. And it's like, man, it's never this easy. It was fun. It was interesting. I didn't play with anybody else. I just got loads of mercs and just leveled up very quickly. And it was fun. And so sometimes we need to kind of remember that too. It is fun. It's a very engaging, very entertaining game. But it's also often that way to people who are already familiar with it. So we've got this bit.
Exactly.
How do we solve that problem? And it's listen, we got to keep asking questions, and we've got to. By the way, I think I leveled twice. Have I?
You leveled twice?
No, I didn't. I got 25k left to go.
Almost.
I got thousands of TPs. I think I could go to the Traveler quest in about 2 minutes.
Nice.
But yeah. So anyway, listen. I'm rambling, but it was. I think these are questions we've got to ask. It's we've got the community to ask it. We've got. For all that Discord occasionally brings challenges, I think broadly it's also a place for the community it's a very active Discord for a community that's 30 something years old, right? You got people on their own Discords that they've made. Donnie's made a very active one, and I think we've just got to keep we got to help. We got to push. We got to ask questions.
I like the phrase there, asking the questions, right? And I definitely, if anyone takes anything from this series, is part of the goal here is to introduce the people, right? Because the people are everybody can do something. Everybody can do something. You don't need a god to do it. You don't need anything to do it. So even if it's just feedback, but I think we're right about that. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Probably a little bit over already, but let's go ahead. Let's finish up here. Let's get a. I gave you a wine glass. Let's do a little toast. little toast. We're keeping it classy. And then, there's no wine in the wine glass. Oh no! Hold on, man. We gotta go buy a wine bottle.
You gave me
hold on a second.
I got so excited.
I know we were all ready. You know what? We're gonna be even more classy. We're gonna get a bottle. All right, so 47. All right, pour bottle wine. All right, here. I'll give you the bottle now. Nice. All right, we're gonna go back up to. We need like a scenic place. Here, this is pretty scenic. At the chessboard. All right. Let's go ahead and drink that. Drink the glass. Cheers. Oh, yes. Excellent. All right, well, Relim, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much also for leveling up a character just to be around the same level for this adventure. If anyone sees Relim online, he's, again, one of the ranger characters. So even like in the Discord, you're known as Relim. Do you have any characters that you're playing often these days?
So we made the Tint characters. Tint and Dar, I think, is the only way I could pronounce it. And I regularly play him, although there's a lot of PK, I suppose, and a lot of Dine as well. But I'm around, and most of my characters are rangers, so I tend to see when new people come on, and I try to help if I can. Unless I'm dying, in which case I try to die first and then help.
Yeah.
The order of events is very important. And they were on Discord. I mean, you know, we're there to help, right? And we're there to support new people. It's been interesting recently. There's been a few new people coming through on Discord, which is nice. So it's on us to say hello, of course, but please do feel free to say hello to us, and we will help in any way we can to make it an interesting and valuable experience, so people can get familiar, so they can join us and also die in PK on a regular basis.
Perfect. There's not a better MUME experience that you can have.
Exactly. Absolutely. Just don't go back to your corpse. Just
exactly.
Leave it,
don't go back to your corpse. It's gone. Don't even bother.
It's over. Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Relim. We're gonna go ahead and end here, but until next time, guys. What do you say?
Take care.
Oh, cheers. Peace.